Hi everyone, I'm Donna Louise and welcome to my YouTube channel for the love of puzzles. Today we continue our journey as we travel around art, the current largest commercially available jigsaw puzzle in the world from Grafika. If you haven't seen the other videos I've published in this series, I'll leave all the links in the description below. I suggest you at least watch the unboxing video just to give you an overview of the entirety of the jigsaw puzzle itself. Now, today we are on to bag number 11. Yes, we're getting there. So bag number 11 is actually section 3, and it's just one large painting with one beautiful big frame. Quite an interesting painting. As with all the other videos, I often forget to mention this in the intro, but during the time lapse, I'll do a voiceover and I'll discuss the painting. I'm very curious to learn more about this one. I believe the name of this painting is Children's Games, and I'll definitely do a lot of close-up shots of everything that's going on. But some of these kids' games are pretty rough and tough and brutal. But I'm also wondering how I'm going to sort this, because there's not, well, there are areas, but not completely distinct. I might have to go by what's in the background, like this area, like a background light and some greens and the darker areas. I might actually build quite a bit as I'm sorting out the pieces. Obviously the frame I'll be able to sort quite easily, probably leave that till the end. But I'm curious to see how I go. I think this will be a medium-ish type of section. It might take me 14 to 15 hours, I'm gonna guess. I don't know why I've started guessing how long sections take me to do. I have no idea, just for fun, I guess. If I bring out our panoramic poster here of the entirety of the jigsaw puzzle, there you go. Now, I've completed 3 sections here. The second set of 3 sections, I've done the bottom and the middle, and this is now the top. So once this is done, it's what I like to call 3 full panels will be completed. The reason why it's bag number 11 is I previously did 2 bookshelf sections already, and after I'm done this section, I'm gonna do another bookshelf section, the one with the big white chair, and I actually think that'll be a bit tricky because the chair was tricky enough on the other side with the kitty cat, and that was pretty small. So there, yeah, I'm excited. Another bag. I'm nearing the halfway point. What, bag 14 will be the halfway point. So this is bag 11. We're getting there. We're getting it done. So for the love of puzzles, let's get working on bag number 11, which is section 3, as we travel around art. There's only one painting in this section of the puzzle. It's titled Children's Games and is an oil on panel by the Flemish Renaissance artist Pieter Brueghel the Elder. It was painted in 1560 and is currently held and exhibited at the Kunsthistorisches Museum in Vienna. The more I pronounce the name of that museum, the more I feel confident I'm saying it correctly, and in fact I'm most likely terribly butchering it. I apologize. By the way, his first name, I'm not sure if it's pronounced Pieter or Pieter. It's P-I-E-T-E-R. Pieter Brueghel the Elder is how I shall pronounce it. Most likely incorrect. I do apologize again. Now, he was the most significant artist of Dutch and Flemish Renaissance painting. A painter and a printmaker, he's known for his landscapes and peasant scenes. He was a pioneer in making both types of subject the focus in large paintings. And this is actually quite a large painting at 118 by 161 centimeters in size. It has been suggested that this painting was the first in a projected series of paintings representing the ages of man, in which children's games would have stood for youth. Now, if this were his intentions, it's unlikely that the series progressed beyond this painting, for there are no contemporary or subsequent mentions of related pictures. Now, the children, who range in age from toddlers to adolescents, are playing a variety of games. I think there's been approximately 80 different games picked out of this painting. I'm just going to name you a few and show you a close-up of those games in the puzzle themselves. So here we see what is called running the gauntlet, which is passing through kicking legs. To me, it seems quite painful and unpleasant. At the bottom here, you can see a child climbing a fence. Another child is playing by themselves with sand. And then at the top more, this is role playing. I guess it's called Dethroning the King. In this image, they classified this as a mock tournament. So it's some sort of competition that kids are playing. To me, it almost looks like a tug of war, but on other kids' backs. So just playing, you know, various mock tournament style games. Here, these children are throwing walnuts, and it's perhaps a variation of bowling or bocce. Basically, you're hitting an assembled cluster of nuts. I'm not too sure if this is really truly a game, but here they're building a well. Now, this depicts a mock wedding, and I guess mock child weddings were a thing that were common in folk tradition in many European places and often celebrated at midsummer. Here we see quite a few different children doing various games like pirouetting in their skirts or just climbing a fence. Up in the right-hand corner, you can see, I believe it's 2 children playing bocce. And then at the bottom there, this game is called Whom Shall I Choose? And a child selects their baby from a group of friends that are hiding under a blanket. Now there's a lot going on in this section here, but at the top from left to right, the first child is making a shell bobbin, which is a flying spinneret made out of nutshells. The next one is a bit hard to see, but I guess they're blowing bubbles. The third one is making a hat out of twigs. The child with their arms raised is playing the thing they have in their hand, I guess. Playing what's called, I'm going to mispronounce this, teetotum? T-E-E-T-O-T-U-M. And I guess it's a forerunner of roulette or dice games, for example. And at the bottom, the children that are walking and holding something in their hands, that is a mock baptismal. They're basically reenacting the procession of adults carrying home a baby that was just baptized. Here they're pole vaulting, basically exercising on a horizontally fixed bar. Something more familiar, playing leapfrog. Here they're riding the barrel. I'm not too sure what this is. Maybe they're just trying to sit on top of the barrel and balance without it rolling one way or another. Now these last few, I have lots of questions about some of them. This one is the penalty of bum bouncing, which is bouncing someone's buttocks on a plank. This can't be fun. Yeah, no, it's more of a punishment, really. And here, children are playing buck-buck. So a group of children create a pony, and then others leap on their backs until the weight gets so much that the pony crumbles underneath the weight of the children that have climbed on top. Again, yeah, dangerous. Many of these games are quite dangerous. Now, this same scene may seem, simple enough. You see some children rolling hoops, which is fine. But what kind of is a little disturbing is the child that's inflating a pig's bladder to make a balloon. Ugh, a pig's bladder to make a balloon. Yep. I mean, that can't be sanitary, especially not back in those days. Oh, okay. And the last one, this is not a game, but definitely probably something kids do and probably, hopefully not still do today, but pulling hair. Yeah, this can't be a game. This has got to be fighting. They're picking on that poor child in the middle. But yes, pulling hair. Now, the children have also taken over the large building that dominates the square. It may be a town hall or some other important civic building. In this way, emphasizing the moral that the adults who direct civic affairs are as children in the sight of God. This crowded scene is to some extent relieved by the landscape in the top left-hand corner. But even here, you see children that are bathing in the river and playing on its banks. Now, the artist's intention for this work is more serious than simply to compile an illustrated encyclopedia of children's games. Like I mentioned before, though some 80 particular games have been identified, Brueghel shows the children absorbed in their games with the seriousness displayed by adults in their apparently more important pursuits. His moral is that in the mind of God, children's games possess as much significance as the activities of their parents. This idea was a familiar one in contemporary literature. In an anonymous Flemish poem published in Antwerp in 1530 by Jan van Doesborg, mankind is compared to children who are entirely absorbed in their foolish games and concerns. Now, Brueghel is sometimes referred to as Peasant Brueghel to distinguish him from the many other later painters in his family, including his son Pieter Brueghel the Younger. Now, online you can find a family tree of the Brueghels, of which Jan Brueghel the Elder, which we saw from The Sense of Hearing, is a member, a fellow relative. Some of Pieter Brueghel the Elder's notable works are The Hunters in the Snow, The Peasant Wedding, and The Tower of Babel, which is featured in another section of this jigsaw puzzle. And another section of the puzzle is done. Wow, I'm so pleased. I knew I could get through this, but I have done now, 11 bags in just pretty much 2 months. So at that rate, I'm hoping to finish this by the end of the year. I'll try to keep up that pace. It may be a bit difficult depending on the sections. And of course, I film and record all this a week to 2 weeks beforehand. So by the time you see this video, you won't see the final completion of everything until January, February-ish, but I hope to have everything done by the end of the year. And I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I am not getting bored whatsoever because there's enough differentiation between the sections to make it so enjoyable. I absolutely love this section. I was worried at first that'd be quite tricky. Now I would classify as an easy to medium. It took me 13 hours and 32 minutes. And you'll notice when I sorted it, because now I use the word busy. I know some people don't like that. I don't want to use words like cluttered or chaotic. To me, it's just, I don't know a better word to use to describe. It's a scene with a lot going on. It's more difficult to sort because it's busy. I don't know. Full? Leave your comments below. What would be a better word to describe? So what I did was, as I was sorting, I literally looked at every piece of the puzzle, and I love doing that. Like, I really enjoy doing that and going, where does this go? So this lower left-hand section I built as I was sorting. And then I sorted the frame into like 5 sections. The frame was easy to sort. And then I sorted out the lower right, the upper right, then this back building, and then that kind of foresty, watery area over there. And so when I was done sorting, although that took a lot longer, I really enjoyed it. I was just taking my time, finding each piece, where it went. I had quite a bit already built, and then I just went section to section. And to tell you the truth, there were maybe only like 50 pieces that I didn't know right away where they went. And a lot of them were maybe the ground or the building pieces that didn't have much of an edge. They might have like a little tip of a foot or something. But pretty much every piece I could look at and go, yep, that goes there, yep, that goes there. And it made me appreciate the painting that much more because I really had to look at all the detail of what the kids are doing. Now, I'm sorry, some of these things are not games. They're more like fighting, like the pulling hair. What fun is that? Not fun for the person who's having their hair pulled, that's for sure. It was just so interesting. I hope you enjoyed the voiceover and the close-up of the various children's games that I depicted. Yeah, it's just wonderful. Now, what else did I want to say about this? We are going to see other paintings from Brueghel the Elder, Pieter Brueghel the Elder. I believe we have the Tower of Babel. Babel? The Tower of Babel. The Tower of Babel. The Tower of Babel. Let's go with that for now. I believe that's another one of the sections in this jigsaw puzzle that is one full section that's the painting, if I remember correctly. I can't wait to do it. I really enjoyed this. Now, the other thing that I wanted to mention, not specific, well, about this, the frame. The frame was so much fun to do. I believe it's a frame we've seen before, but what was nice though, although like you can take a piece and it can appear in multiple places because the pattern of the frame repeats itself. If you just take the time to look at the piece, you'll notice a shadow and you'll be like, oh, well, the shadow in this piece appears in the bottom, so it can only go on the right side of the puzzle or the top or the left. There was enough differentiation that the frame really didn't take me that long. It wasn't that difficult and it was so much fun to do. Really loved it. So yeah, quite enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it. Now, the next section will be another bookshelf section. I'm so excited. I have some information from Grafika to share about the bookshelf section. And I do believe I have enough questions. Thank you very, very much for everyone that left questions to do voiceovers for the next 2 bookshelf sections. If I need more questions, I'll let you know. But for now, I think I have enough because I can ramble and talk nonstop, as you can tell by this outro. But yeah, that's about it. There you go. Bag 11, which was section 3. I now have 3 full, what I like to call panels done, as well as 2 bookshelf sections. We'll do a bookshelf section next, so that's 3 of the 4 bookshelf sections. That will be the next video in this series, and then we'll continue on. I'm loving it. I hope you enjoy it too. I love seeing it all together. I can't wait to have it all up on the wall displayed. I'm really sad I had to take it down, but I love my map, so my map is back. Yeah, so there you go. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. For the love of puzzles, I hope you enjoy my videos. Please consider subscribing, and until next time, ciao!